right, so my first question is for Vince, our wonderful cinematographer. Vince, what was the difference between working on the first film and the second film in terms of how you were able to work as cinematographer?
Oh my god. So who here's seen the first film? Yeah? Okay, quite a lot. Yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, I shot the first film and that was similar experience, but like just way less time, way less money, I don't know if it was harder actually.
Yeah, on the first film we had the principal photography budget was like 20 grand, and we shot it in like 7 days.
Yeah, so super quick budget, super tough, but yeah. So when we came to do the second one, we're like, oh, we've got more money now. We can have a longer shoot, more time. We can get some more like camera toys and have a slightly bigger crew. But yeah, still very similar, sort of very tough. Everything going wrong, but yeah, we hopefully made a better film. I don't know, but yeah.
And then Scott. Hello.
Hi.
It's good to see you way down there. How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Good. I wanted to start off first by talking about the chainsaw scene, because that is something we have not talked about the past few nights.
Yeah.
The chainsaw scene, if you could just tell us a little bit about it, because it is fascinating.
Yeah, so it's horrific. The whole day was rushed as fuck, basically. So we've been doing everything you see when the rain starts all the way until the end, and it was actually meant to end in that scene, the whole film, because we chainsawed him in their head, but it weren't very good, so we reshot it. But anyway, so I'm in the car, and it's all rush, and it's just me and the guy playing Pooh practicing this chainsaw bit. It's actually on fire. It does come through the door. None of it's VFX. And he did it the first time, and it went like there. And I was like, oh fuck. And then he did it the second time, and it went like there. And like Vince was in the car with me, and he goes, Scott, can you get close to it because it's not close enough? And I was like, no, because it was just there a minute ago. And then I was like, oh damn, because my main thing was, if I actually die right now, this is my production company, and I can't sue anyone, so my parents won't get any money out of it. So I just did it.
You can't sue yourself.
I can't sue myself.
You gotta change that. That's fair.
Sue him.
Well, Scott, you produced the first film, and now you also are acting as Christopher Robin. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we did the first film. It was shot in 6 days. Out in the public, it says that we had 100K. We didn't. We had 20K. It's just marketing. They had no money to make that film. That year, I made 47 feature films with Rhys, so it was on a conveyor belt of films. My goal at the time was, it was so hard to get into the film industry, like no one would take me serious, no one would listen, no one would give me any money. So I found a company who would give me 20 grand to go make films, and I was like, okay, right, let's strategize. What if I make 100 feature films by a certain age, and then if I ever get in the room with someone with like millions, they might kind of give me a chance. So yeah, that year I did 47 films, I did a TV show as an actor, and a film called Dr. Jekyll. So it was a very busy year, and then one night I woke up to go to the toilet, and when I went back to bed I couldn't sleep, and I was on Twitter, and it was just like, Winnie. I was like, fuck, it's gone viral. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? We need to reshoot some stuff. So we did that, and then when we got to the sequel, we like pushed for a bigger budget. Again, out there in the public, it says it's $1 million we had. We didn't. We had probably about $420,000 to make that. So that's the budget of that film that you just watched. The next one we are pushing for an actual $1 million, because I think we deserve it now after all of that. So Rhys said that he wanted to kind of like now make the film he would have made the first time had we known that we were gonna get exposed to this, kind of.
Appreciate the scale.
Yeah, the scale, because it was meant to be a VOD film. Like honestly, it was never meant to go to cinemas. But people were attacking us, going, "We're lazy," or this or that. I was like, chill out. But anyway, so Rhys was like, "I'm gonna make the film I want to make now," and he was like, "So I'm gonna redo like the Pooh creatures, blah 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 blah." And he was like, "So I'm gonna need a new Christopher Robin, and obviously I do the casting as well for these films." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I have to get Christopher Robin. Okay, I'll budget that." And then he goes, "Would you do it?" And I was like, produce it, and I've got to do locations, and we've got to hire crew and kit and everything else. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. So I did it, and that's how I got involved, and that's how I was cast as Christopher Robin.
Oh, we are so thankful that you were cast as Christopher Robin. How great was Scott as Christopher Robin, you guys? Well, speaking of Rhys, how's it going down there?
Yep, good, thanks. Yeah.
How did you feel after the first one went so viral, And what do you bring into the sequel, having learned from the first film?
Yeah, so after the first film, like Scott was alluding to there, the scale was very different. So when we first shot it, it was intended for a much smaller market, but then it went absolutely crazy. And when it went crazy, we tried to do some reshoots and bits like that. But then going into the sequel, we knew, we appreciated the sort of scale it was going to then. And what we didn't want to do was like lock ourselves in to certain elements which we'd secured in the first film. So for example, like the look of the creatures, some of like the lore, the backstory, some of the actors involved and such. So what we did was we done like a soft reboot. So you can see that the first film now is a film within a film. And what that let us do was basically remove all of the elements and change what we wanted to kind of like establish a new kind of foundation for the franchise. So that's when I got Matt Leslie on board. So Matt's a screenwriter. So we like brainstormed. We brainstormed for about 1 or 2 months and then decided on loads of elements to change. And some of that was basically led by horror fans as well. So we were like talking to people on Bloody Disgusting, Instagram, everywhere, and just asking like, what do you guys actually want? Like in the sequel relative to the first film, what do you want to change? So for example, completely new creatures, all prosthetics. We're now able to do that from budget, much more practical effects in the film now. So we've tried to put loads of that in there. Just obviously, you guys want more death. There's always more death. So we had tons of death, and more like backstory and lore. So we've tried to expand out in it as much as we can, and we're going to do the same when we're going into the third film. So if you've got any suggestions, what you liked, or you maybe didn't like as much, just message us on Instagram, and we're definitely going to take it all into account.
Very nice. I also have another question. Who was the narrator at the beginning of the film, and how did you guys find him? He's perfect.
That's a bit of a funny story. So the character Cavendish, the old guy, and he has a big scene, like 8 or 9 minutes. After we shot his segment, I kind of took him aside, and it was like 5 AM, wasn't it? And he was like getting ready to go home, and then I was like, wait, we've got one more job for you. And then I dragged him into a room. He's a really established actor. BAFTA nominated and stuff, and I was like begging him, and I just dragged him into a room, just sat him down, put a script in front of him, and just got him to say
Well,
it.
I feel like that's not what happened. I feel like he was way cheeky. You didn't beg him. You were just like, hey, come on, we're going to quickly shoot some ADR. And he was like, with my Scottish accent.
What's happening?
And you were like, no, do like RP now. And he was like, what is this? And you were like, just read all of that and action.
Yeah.
And that was what happened.
I didn't tell him it was another character. But it's silent character, basically.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, Vince and Rhys, what were some of the key differences between making the first film and making the second film?
Do we have another one?
Yeah, he could.
Some of the key differences. So you'd actually think we had a lot more time here, like as the budget went up, and we did have like an additional amount. We went to like 22 days shooting, but realistically, it didn't actually alter that much from the first film to the second, because there was just like the scope of the production expanded so much more. Like in the first film, it's like 2 locations. Here, there must have been about 13,
15 locations.
10 or 13. So we're just constantly jumping around, which just consumes so much energy. And
Just
time.
way bigger scenes. The rave scene, we had like 100 people there.
Yeah.
We had rain machines, we had things on fire, we had more explosions in the first film. We just kind of wanted to double down and make it twice as epic.
Bigger and bigger, and like more creatures, obviously. So as I'm going from like film 1 to film 2, that was one of the elements. Is just like we want more of the monsters and more of the friends in there. So I had to selectively pick what ones I thought would like fit well as a dynamic in the group, and also the fan favourites. So everyone wanted Tigger, so we put Tigger in there. Al adds a lot because he's like the voice of reason, and he's also a bit of a scout because he flies. So I thought, okay, he will be the 4th character we put in. But that's actually really challenging. Like the more these characters expand out, and we're going from 1 villain to 4 villains, it actually is so much harder to shoot because the SFX teams now need
They need hours.
Yeah,
Like,
they
just to
need
make
to-
Owl up is hours.
hours just to make 1 character. We've got like 4 of them. That's why I had to strategically split them up in the film. So you'll see, it's very rare that you see all the characters in one singular space. It's only in their like lair scene. But yeah, that was done for like logistical reasons. But I don't know what I'm gonna do in number 3. I've got 7.
We need to do a Poohniverse.
Yeah, I know.
We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
Andrew, how are you doing way over there?
Good.
Good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on, I appreciate it. So you're familiar with using all different types of things as instruments in these films. The first film, you have the Beehive which you guys, if you haven't seen the Beehive, it is incredible. Andrew has posted about it on his TikTok, on his Instagram. I love the Beehive. And then in this film, you have something new that you brought with us tonight. If you could just tell us a little bit about what a Tigger tube is and maybe give a little bit of a demonstration.
I guess if you're gonna pull my leg. The Beehive was a violin that my instrument maker friend, somebody that I work with on making custom instruments for me, he had put a violin inside of a beehive for 2 years. And I just when I started talking with Rhys and Scott and everybody, I just randomly remembered the article that was written about that person, Tyler Thackeray, who goes by Violin Torture on Instagram. And I just randomly remembered seeing that he put a violin in a beehive, and I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. So that's the Beehive violin, and we wanted to kind of up the ante on this one, so we did like a skull cello for Pooh. That was a bear skull. That instead of a cello, it's a bear. It's just dumb fun. I just have so much fun. I see all these guys having fun on set, and I'm jealous, and I want to have fun myself.
We're not having fun.
No,
It's hell.
Don't lie to me. I hear the laughter between takes. So there's lots of instruments, but one of the instruments was just a total accident. My wife and I just bought a house in September, and I stupidly nailed through a pipe. So I had to do some plumbing, which was fun, whatever. And so I bought this very flexible tubing to fix my plumbing mistake. And one day I came down to my studio and I was just starting to think of ideas for Pooh too, and I saw it leaning up against the wall. And I thought, I could put a mouthpiece in that. I wonder what that would sound like. So I did, and it sounded like this. Could you hold this for me? You could just play it like this, like a normal French horn. Which is kind of cool, but why waste this flexible material when you could play it like this? And that just instantly became exactly what Tigger was gonna sound like. When I saw this guy's performance, I just knew it had to be wild. And I sent it to you, Rhys, didn't I? I sent you a picture, and what did you say? You said?
Yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. Yeah, we wanted a kind of tribal theme with Tigger, and a bit of a war cry. So full, instead of a horn, this is sort of replicating that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. And it worked really well.
I remember he said, "Can we add drums?" And I always have drums.
Yeah. I just have drums on everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that demonstration. That was very cool to hear in person. My next question is for Matt. How's it going, Matt? Hey.
What the fuck?
There's no shenanigans going on. Hey, Natasha, welcome to the Q&A. So, Matt, sorry. Shenanigans, I tell you. Matt, how did you come on board the project, and what made you interested in signing up this film?
Well, yeah, it was Andy that actually, our composer, that called me, and he said that they were looking for a writer. And so I got on the horn with Rhys, and we kind of had a talk about the first film and what he liked about the first film and what he wanted to change in the second film. And we just kind of started brainstorming. When I came on board, Rhys kind of touched on this, but he had cobbled together all this information from the internet, from fans and stuff, and it was a really cool way to jump this off, to sort of start the development of this film. Is we had all this stuff, what fans really wanted to see. So that was kind of how things started, and then we just kind of went from there.
Very cool, very cool. I think we're all very grateful that you signed on for the sequel.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to have been a part of it.
Yeah.
Lila and Kelly, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
First of all, you both look amazing.
Oh, thanks.
And I was wondering what the experience of that RV scene was like, and if you could just talk a little bit about how it felt having been lit on fire, having your bones cracked, some limbs torn off. How did that feel?
It wasn't as painful as it looked in real life. No, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I think it was an amazing experience. I felt more bad for Lila in the lake with the dogs. So I had it quite easy really, so I was alright.
For me, I was afraid of the fire, I won't lie. I was afraid of the fire. I had a lot of prosthetics. I had one eye and one ear working like available only. I wasn't expecting it to be that heavy on me either. So I was actually really scared during a lot of that. And then I had to get in the water and come out of the water. And I actually really enjoyed that. Like that part was my favorite part to do. But it was difficult because they were doing different things and Rhys was like, on action, can you just go under the water and then come out? And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So we take a take. And then I come out, he's like, yeah, just can you go down deeper just a little bit? And I thought I was way further underneath than I was, but the prosthetics are rubber, so they float, so it was really hard for me. And I was like, I'm doing it. And they were like, no, you're not.
We were trying to get you to go under for a while, so
I know.
it settled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it looked
exactly.
like the water
So it
was
wasn't
flat,
hollow.
and then you'd burst out.
Yeah, exactly. I
Picking
thought,
up.
yeah.
So it was a bit like, you kind of looked like E.T., didn't you?
I
You
did.
got to push E.T. under the leg.
Yeah.
Get them 10 seconds to get shot.
Yeah, I had a good time. It was fun.
Your guys' opening kill scene is so much fun. What would you say stood out to you the most as like the most fun part of it?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, probably when the explosion, the fire. So I remember we were like, quite far apart from each other, but we could see each other's eye line. We were like, what the f- this is crazy. And we could feel the heat from the fire, and yeah, that was like iconic, wasn't it? Just
Yeah.
to experience it together was just really fun.
Oh, very cool. Lewis,
Oh,
what's up?
hello everyone.
Tigger is in the house, the bandana bro. We matched tonight. Let's good.
Yeah, got bandanas on. Tribal.
Lewis, I was wondering, how did you develop your take on Tigger?
How did I develop it? So I got the role back in July last year, and I was on set by the end of August. So I only had a month to sort of prep for this character. So I thought, what's the best way I can spend my time? So I decided to watch like 2 to 3 horror films at night for like a month, like every horror film, and repeatedly watching them, so like Terrifier and Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. And then I wanted to really develop like the voice of the character. I know Rhys probably like Freddy Krueger's inspiration, so I was sort of practicing that all the time. And then also like the physicality of the character. Like I wanted to, obviously at the time I didn't know if he was going to be on like all fours most of the time or on 2 feet, so I thought I'd practice for both of that. So I was literally in my house after like 4 in the morning in my kitchen, like putting out on all fours, like literally like taping it, like, oh, yeah, that looks good, watching it back and thinking, yeah, that looks good. And you use that really like adrenaline fueled as well, so I was like, how would you play that? So I was looking in my mirror in my house, like twitching and snarling and smiling, like scaring myself. And in a minute, like I was scared of what I was looking at. I was like, okay, now I'm ready. I was also going to the gym a lot, trying to bulk up a little bit, and heavy metal music as well. Heavy metal music was a big thing for this character. I feel like it really helped me sort of get into that mindset. To the point where I was listening to it all the time for like a month, and then when I was in the makeup chair, I was sort of playing it over in my head. So I had like 2 hours in the makeup chair to get into this character, and I'm literally there just playing like Screamo in my head because I can remember it, obviously listened to it so much. And then yeah, so that's how I sort of developed it, yeah.
So in the recently announced Poohniverse,
Yeah.
Tigger's coming. He's coming.
Yeah.
And what do you want to see him do in the future?
So we've been talking recently, me and Rhys, about ideas for Tigger, and we said like he sort of uses his claws a lot. He doesn't really use weapons, he's got his claws, but we want to see him like eat more and like drink more blood and stuff. Like he's got the teeth there. Why not use them more? I think like I eat eyeballs in this film and that's it. So like actually in the original script, it did have me snap on someone's leg and sucking all the blood out of this leg and of this foot. And I remember getting really like psyched for that idea. It's never happened because we had like other ideas for kills. So I think in Poohniverse, I'd love him to like just eat more people. Like he's a tiger, you know, he gets hungry, that's what they do. So why not, you know, take that and then use that idea.
Do you want him to start with the head or with the feet? Where would you have him start?
Oh, see, you can have a vampire, you go straight for the throat, or like, no, actually no, I'll go back on that. Because he's sadistic, I think he'd start from the feet. Like he wants them to endure as much pain as possible before they die. So I think like toes, feet, legs, everything going up until the throat, yeah. Make it as long as possible. He's sadistic, so you know, he loves it.
Well, Nichaela, how are you doing?
Hello. Hi, I'm Nichaela. I play Cara. Sorry I'm late. I was trying to find where my head is. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Did you need an Advil? Are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, but I'm alright.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the rave scene and how much fun it was. Like, what was your favorite part about filming that rave scene?
I really enjoyed filming that scene. It was really fun. It was like an actual rave. We had rave music playing, and we all just got to just dance. And I remember at one point I shouted, "Ollie, Ollie, Ollie!" It was like, "Oi, oi, oi!" It was fun. And also like that bit where Pooh pulls off Carolina's head when she's running into the rave. We all got sprayed with blood, so that was a lot of fun as well.
And then a very interesting fact that you told me was what the rave scene was filmed in. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the tunnel scene when we're all running from Pooh was actually filmed in a World War II bunker, and it's now been changed into memorabilia. But it was really spooky. We were filming that scene at like 3 a.m. and I remember I walked around before we started filming, and there were like mannequins in nurse outfits and dusty bunk beds. It was really creepy. So yeah.
And then Scott. Sorry about that. My next question is for you, Scott. So you're not only an actor and a producer, but now you're going to be directing Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I shoot that in a month, so I'm very much at the moment, like whenever I'm not busy doing this, we're on our phones like sorting that out. It's good, like, so it is going to be more grounded, that one. Like, I know like some people on the internet are like, oh, these should all be stupid, but like, you know, it is an old guy breaking into houses, abducting children, so naturally that ain't funny. So I'm taking it a bit more serious, so I'm just going with what I like love as a horror fan. So I'm a massive fan of like French cinema, so stuff like, I think over here it's called High Tension. So I'm taking reference from that, and Hounds of Love, which is a really good Australian film, and then The Black Phone. So it is a mix of those, and with my own thing on top. But yeah, it's going to be really dark. Yeah, as I said in the intro, Tinkerbell is addicted to heroin, and she thinks it's pixie dust. So I'm definitely remixing it. I don't really know what I can say, to be honest, because we're going to announce Droops and Drabs, but yeah, it's going to be dark as hell, and Wendy's gonna go through it, so
It's all quite creepy looking.
Peter Pan's got, I can't say too much more, but he's gonna be, half his face is gonna be like messed up, but yeah, you'll see, I'll release some pictures when we're filming, and I'm very, very, very excited about it.
And Scott, I think I went to college with the Tinkerbell that you're talking about. I'm a little familiar.
Oh, but
Party girls.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So, Rhys and Scott, in the recently announced Poohniverse, Monsters Assemble. Can you talk about that a little bit and just tease some of what's to come and how you guys came up with that idea?
Yeah, so we've got all the individual films which we're shooting first. So we've had obviously like Pooh, Bambi's already been shot, so you saw a teaser of that. It's currently in post. Peter Pan's next. After that, we've got Pinocchio on Strong. So we've got the creator of Chucky, Todd Masters. He's going to be making the doll for us. So we're really excited for that. And then after we've done all those individual films is when we'll go into Poohniverse. And it kind of stemmed from us thinking how fun it would have been to see Pooh riding Bambi. While we were shooting Bambi, it was just like imagining Pooh riding him, and then it just started growing
with
from
his
there.
bear trap.
Yeah, like swinging this bear trap like a cowboy. We've got to make this happen.
But also, it is also like I truly am a horror fan. Like since I was about 7, I've been watching horrors because of my older brother and stuff, and I've always wanted to see a film where it's like Leatherface, Hellraiser, Scream, all of them. I want to see a film where they're all in a film together, but that will never obviously happen because they're all owned by different, production companies. But we can do that. So we were like, that was a big thing when I make films that we actually want to see ourselves.
Yeah, so it's a bit like we love like Freddy vs Jason. So we're trying to have those sort of like elements in there, and you can kind of probably see from like Pooh 2 that each of the individual characters, there's almost a little bit of like homage to some of like the slasher greats in there. So obviously Tigger, you've got Freddy, with like Pooh, he's got a bit of mannerisms like Jason and Michael Myers, and Piglet's a little bit Leatherfacey, and then Owl's got like a bit of Pinhead in him, because he just loves to monologue at people before he like pokes their eyes out.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Poohniverse, and we all just took our first steps into a larger Poohniverse, you guys. And I challenge you this, you cannot say Poohniverse without smiling, I guarantee it. So before I open it up to the audience to ask some questions, tonight is our 3rd and final night here at Universal Studios City Walk doing these Q&A panels. And to wrap things up, before I open it up to you guys, I was wondering if we could just go down the line and you can talk about the person to your left and what your favorite memory or favorite thing about working with them on this project was.
Okay, so me and Lila actually didn't meet until we came here. We didn't film on the same days, but I can talk about having a good time here with her, and it's been a lot of fun shopping and just actually getting to know each other. So that was
This is Kelly, and I mean, we're very, very close friends outside of working together. So, I mean, my favorite memory with her on set would be probably on our off moments. We're just very goofy, and she's always so fun and bubbly and so supportive. She's always just the greatest person to have on set and off set around you. Oh, Kel.
Yes, we Lewis have worked together. But yeah, I'm very proud of you. I think you've done an amazing job, and yeah, I'm excited to see all the success you now have with it. So yeah, well done you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So Matt, obviously, he's the writer, and when I first got the script for, obviously, this film and sort of Tigger's lines, I think without those lines, he wouldn't be the same character he is. Like the point of it is that he's funny and he uses that humour whilst he's killing obviously these people. So I think without those little quirky jokes he has, and obviously the pitch lines as well, you know, that sort of homage to Freddy Krueger. Without that, he wouldn't be the character he is in this film. So obviously that's up to you.
So yeah, since I'm the writer, I wasn't on set, so I didn't work with Vince, our cinematographer, and it was great. It was wonderful. The cinematography in the film is actually really beautiful. There's a lot of shots. I specifically love some of the therapists, the psychotherapy stuff, or the hypnosis stuff. Some of those shots, and like the shot where Scott comes like rocketing up out of hypnosis, like all that stuff was really cool to me. It felt very talk to me and like really cinematic. So good job.
Thanks, Brian. Well, Rhys and I go back a little bit. We've done probably 20, 25, 30 films together.
Oh, and that's only over two.
Yeah, in like 2 years.
2 or 3 years.
I mean, it started with COVID. I was in the middle of COVID. You know, I didn't have too much work going on, and these guys came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to shoot a dinosaur movie in 10 days?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And they're like, "All the dinosaurs are completely CGI. It's gonna be fun." And yeah, we had fun. And we just went from there. We just made movie after movie after movie. And we got pretty good at our shorthand and just, you know, having fun and making it work, and that's led to this, and it's been a great ride. Thank you.
Thanks. Go on. Yeah. With Scott,
This one sounds dodgy.
Was it? Me and Scott are having to wear a lot of hats on set. So like while I'm directing, I'm also producing, and Scott is doing the same with Christopher Robin and producing. And that's one of my favourite parts, is because we're both producers, we're both dealing with the same crap on set. So when there's a problem, we just go to the side, we can just like vent with each other. Or if I've got to focus on director, I just go, "There's this big problem."
Yeah. Are you acting?
No, not
out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice memory. Well, I didn't obviously work with Andy directly because Rhys did, but I love you, and like just hanging out with you in the last couple of days. You're so supportive, and the shit that you get on the internet like is very, very nasty and stuff, and you are just the loveliest person, and you're like, I don't know, you just help a lot, so thank you.
Suddenly I have someone to talk about. I thought it was off the hook. I should have had all the time to. I didn't really work with Matt on this, but it was wonderful. To steal his joke, but I'm very much looking forward to working with you. And we are going to work on something really exciting. We were literally just upstairs talking about it. I can't tell you about it, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. And all these people on this stage, like, I think, even though I didn't work with most of you, you know, the actors, you know, post-production, I can just tell that everyone has fun working together and loves horror. And I think that comes across on screen. It seems like the audience, from what we're seeing, like, really digs this sequel. I hope you guys dug it. Yeah?
Fuck yeah.
So I think sometimes movies are a byproduct of the people and the fun they had making it. So I hope that comes across, because all these people have been really fun to hang out with all week. So I can only imagine how fun they are to work with. That's awesome.
Thanks. And then since Nichaela is here, I will speak about you.
Okay.
I will say one of my favorite memories this week, because I've been so fortunate to be with them this week and celebrating the release of the film, and it's an honor, I won't talk about it because I'll get emotional. No, nobody's saying that. Stop. I swear, I've already cried like 10 times today. But the other night, Nichaela, Natasha, who you guys know from the first film, who died.
Take it out. Everyone give Natasha.
And put on your shoe. So David drove Nichaela, Natasha, and I to the Pooh after party the other night. And my favorite thing was we sang some, what did we just sing? We did Cardi B, we did WAP, we did Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, Nicki Minaj. It was wonderful. So thank you for that, because I'll always remember driving to the Pooh after party and singing about wet ass pussy. So anyways, I'm gonna open it up to you guys. We have time for a few questions if anyone wants to ask something. Yes, go ahead.
So, Scott, Rhys, has Disney ever hit you up and be like, what the fuck?
That's a good question. No, they haven't. So that's part of the reason in the first film, I tried to stay as distant as possible, because no one had really as soon as something dropped in the public domain, no one else had been that quick at getting something. So there had been fairy tale horrors in the past, there's a Pinocchio horror from 2001 or so, but they've been in the public domain for ages. This was the first time, it was months after that something had moved out. So that's partly why in the first film, I made loads of decisions, keeping the characters completely mute. It was to kind of distance myself as much as possible, so I wasn't going to accidentally fall into a trap where they're using a catchphrase or there's a tone in their voice or something which could then kind of legally argue that we're kind of stepping on their copyright. And then it went completely fine, and that's why we're kind of embracing it a bit more in the sequel, and they're a lot more vocal this time.
But a fun fact about the first film, people don't really know, is we actually had a Disney exec come to the LA premiere last year. But she didn't mind.
I remember that was there. Yeah, good times. All right, we have time for a couple more questions. Go ahead, right here.
Steamboat Willie's public domain now. Should we expect a cameo?
So I was actually developing Steamboat Willie Blood and Cheese last year. I was going to direct it, and I was really excited. And then when I talked to when I was talking to a film lawyer, they basically said to me, "Don't you dare!" They were like, because the Steamboat's going to put an animation logo. So I think it's still really, really dodgy grounds, and I really hope the guys that are making one, I think there's one literally called Mickey Mouse. I just really hope that.
Yeah, they might have some challenges, weren't they?
Yeah.
We did have the idea with it that we were going to shoot it last summer, and then we were going to have it all ready, and we were going to drop it on January the 1st. And we had all the ideas ready, blood and cheese. You were going to use a cheese grater to slice people. We had all these cool.
Well, one of them made it though.
Oh,
yeah, there was a death scene, the dishwasher, that was actually going to be in Steamboat Willie, because I'd written a whole treatment and stuff. I'd kind of done it all, and I was ready to script it. And there's going to be a bit where I used to live with a flatmate who would put the knives upside down, and I'd be like, I always felt like I was going to trip and fall and die. And then I was like, that wouldn't be a cool death. And then you were like, I'll have it. I was like, okay, we'll have it.
I like her in the film, by the way. She's going to be the death movie. The little girl's the one doing the dishes, bringing the knives in.
All right, then we have time for one last question. Go ahead.
Where's the merch at?
Oh, Lewis.
Where's the merch?
I've got a top one now.
Where's the clothing?
Yeah, on.
There's a website in there.
I don't know what you
Hold on, boys, hold on, I got it.
LondonHoneyClothes.com probably.
If you go on the Instagram, we definitely tag it and stuff.
Yeah. We're trying to get more and more done. So we've got all the t-shirts and bits like that now. But we're looking to we're in the process of getting figures done.
Figures,
Bits
yeah.
like that.
I didn't know about that. Oh, wow.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out.
Wait, I got it. It is Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey Shop.com.
There you go. Thank you
There's
guys.
there's a sequel.
And if you guys are interested in more one-on-one interviews with everybody, I have interviews with almost every single person up here on my YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Tay. If you want to check those out, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you again, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
Go around.
Thank you.